Prologue to Green Mansions. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This recording is by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina. Green Mansions, A Romance of the Tropical Forest by W. H. Hudson. Prologue. It is a cause of very great regret to me that this task has taken so much longer a time than I had expected for its completion. It is now many months, over a year in fact, since I wrote to Georgetown announcing my intention of publishing, in a very few months, the whole truth about Mr. Abel. Hardly less could have been looked for from his nearest friend, and I had hoped that the discussion in the newspapers would have ceased, at all events, until the appearance of the promised book. It has not been so, and at this distance from Guyana I was not aware of how much conjectural matter was being printed week by week in the local press, some of which must have been painful reading to Mr. Abel's friends. A darkened chamber, the existence of which had never been suspected in that familiar house in Main Street, furnished only with an ebony stand on which stood a cinerary urn, its surface ornamented with flower and leaf and thorn, and winding through it all the figure of a serpent, an inscription, too, of 7 short words, which no one could understand or rightly interpret, and finally the disposal of the mysterious ashes. That was all there was relating to an untold chapter in a man's life for imagination to work on. Let us hope that now, at last, the romance weaving will come to an end. It was, however, but natural that the keenest curiosity should have been excited, not only because of that peculiar and indescribable charm of the man, which all recognized and which won all hearts, but also because of that hidden chapter, that sojourn in the desert, about which he preserved silence. It was felt in a vague way by his intimates that he had met with unusual experiences which had profoundly affected him and changed the course of his life. To me alone was the truth known, and I must now tell, briefly as possible, how my great friendship and close intimacy with him came about. When, in 1887, I arrived in Georgetown to take up an appointment in a public office, I found Mr. Abel an old resident there, a man of means and a favorite in society. Yet he was an alien, a Venezuelan, one of that turbulent people on our border whom the colonists have all...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?